Hello everyone, how are you doing? It's been a while here. In this video today, we shall continue our discussion on conceptual framework. How to write a conceptual framework. So specifically in this video, we shall be discussing the structure of a conceptual framework. Like while you're writing your conceptual framework for the first time, what are the things that you need to follow, that you need to put in your mind so that as you're discussing, what you're writing is going to flow. It's going to be sequential so that those that are reading your work or those that sees your work or your supervisor will be attracted and find what you're reading, or sorry, what you're writing to be interactive, to be interesting, and then it's going to give to them this eagerness to keep reading what you are working on. All right, so the first thing that you need to put in mind while writing any concept in your conceptual framework under your literature review in your chapter 2 is that no, regardless the concept you're writing on, please start with the definition. What is it about? How was it defined? So that people will understand that, okay, by this particular concept, this is what you're trying to say. Not everybody will understand the concepts that makes up your work, what you're trying to talk about. And even if people understand, they still want to see the way it is being defined by other people and even by other scholars too. So on a norms, by rule, even if you're going through textbooks, whenever they're writing on something, you see, the first thing is to do what? Divine what you're writing on. So based on what we discussed in our last video, your definition now can start with what you understand yourself, like what you understand about that concept yourself. It might just be a one sentence, and then you start bringing in the definition of other scholars, the way other people has defined that particular concept. So you might bring 2-3 definitions together and then discuss about that definition before you now move to the next phase. The next phase now is now your objective or purpose of that particular concept. You know, the way you discuss your definition depends on your understanding, like the way you are inspired, what you see, the way you understand it. That will lead to the objective of the purpose of the study. But however, from your definition to your objective, you have to link both together. You understand? So that it flows in a sequential way. Do you understand? All right, so you move to the objective. What is the objective of that particular concept? Now, in line with your whole topic, you know, while you are discussing, if you could recall in the previous video, I said you start with your independent variable. Now, you now move to your variable of measurements. You start with your dependent variable, rather, not independent variable. You start with your dependent variable, then you now move to your independent variable. That is the variables of measurement for your independent variable. So while discussing those concepts, please link them together with the whole of your variables, with your work. After talking about the objective and purpose, you might want to talk about how it relates with your dependent variable. How the objective now will affect, like how it will impact, how it will impact, how it's linked rather also to your dependent variable. And then the next thing, you might want to talk about the background. Talk about the background of that particular concept, how it came into being, what led to its existence, and all that. Then you might want to talk about the advantage. Talk about the advantage of that particular concept. You discuss it. You discuss the advantages. You discuss the disadvantages. And while you are doing this thing, while discussing the advantage and disadvantages, please, you might discuss it at first neutral, in a neutral form, and then to now make it quite interesting, then it is important for you to link it, the effect, the importance to your dependent variable. If it's going to affect your independent variable, like if it's something that is going to, or that has impacted, that scholars have shown that it has impacted your dependent variable or probably they've shown that there's no way it can impact the dependent variable. Anyhow, just reflect it, link it to your dependent variable in order to show the beauty of that particular work that you're writing on. I want you to put this in mind, which is quite important. Please, while writing your conceptual framework, you are not just writing an essay. You understand? You're not writing an essay. You're not just going online to copy what you see online and then you are just writing it. You are bringing what different scholars have said under different headings together and you are discussing it. Remember, it is a discussion. So you have to cover every aspect that has to do with your conceptual framework. That particular concept you are discussing, you have to bring in every aspect that has to do with it and you are going to discuss it. It's not that, for instance, let's say that, okay, after divining, like I divine a particular concept in the way I understand it, and then I brought in what scholar A said as regarding the definition, what scholar B said as regarding the definition. I just put them together. I don't even link them together. I don't link, I don't show a similarity between what scholar A and what scholar B said, or probably the unique difference between both of them. I don't show it. Then I'm not doing anything, because I'm not just, conceptual framework is not just about reporting, it's about discussion. So after bringing in what you understand, your whole idea about that thing, you bring in what scholar A said, you bring in what scholars B said, then discuss them. Discuss what they said in line with your work, in the way you understand it. That's the reason why, you see, in conceptual framework, writing your chapter 2, it exposes your mind, it exposes your brain to a lot of things. And that is why it's often been said that you cannot write your chapter 1, that is the introductory aspect of your work, effectively without you discussing writing your chapter 2, because it is inside your chapter 2, most importantly under your conceptual review, that you will understand better what you are talking on. Sorry, I just see the heading. I saw that there is a mistake in the heading. This is not conceptual framework, this is conceptual review. This is conceptual review. We shall still talk about conceptual framework. Conceptual framework is still different from what we are saying entirely, but a bit similar. Not entirely different, but just a bit different rather, because that one is it has to do with diagram. So the same thing in your objective too. Like you saw what it was written about scholar A, you understand? And what scholar A wrote concerning the objective, you bring it together with, you also bring in what scholars B said about the objective, and then you will now relate it. You relate it to that, your work in its entirety, that is your dependent variable. You relate them together and discuss them. And one important thing that is quite beautiful about this conceptual review is that when you see what scholar A wrote about the objective and you bring together what scholar B wrote about the objective, while they are writing about the objective of that particular concept, the interesting thing is that they might have discussed it in a very beautiful way too. In fact, all the time they discuss it in a very beautiful way to reflect the entirety of their work. You understand? So probably scholar A discussed the objective in the entirety, and in the entirety of the word, scholars B does the same thing, just quite in the same line. After you brought the two together, you know, it's in line with your work now. You will now bring your own understanding, probably your own assertion that obviously you've seen that the purpose of this thing is so and so in relation to your work, what you are truly trying to do. That's what makes it a discussion and different too. Now, when we talk about background also, you see, background, most of the time, a lot of people are saying a lot of things about it, like how the history, you know, the background is the history, how it came to being, how that particular concept came to be, what brought about it, what makes it what it is, and why is it like that. While discussing this background, so you might start connecting it to reality. You know, most of the time, background has to do with history. What made that thing? What brought about the existence of that thing? Now, if you see what's brought about it, you've reported it, you've written it, and you know what, there are different scholars that report the background, you've brought them together. You might start relating. It's important for you to start relating that historical background of that particular concept to what is happening in reality now. For instance, relate it to the situation of things in line with your particular topic, what you are trying to talk about in its entirety, please, in its entirety. And when I'm talking about in its entirety, I'm talking about linking it with your dependent variable. Now, it's important for you to understand the recent trend in that particular topic you are writing on. So if you understand the particular trend in your topic, it will be easy for you to now link that background, the historical background of that particular concept, to what is happening presently, the trend, the current trend on that particular concept in your work. And that beautifies your work the more. It makes you ask a lot of things to work on, and which are often interesting. The same thing goes for advantage and disadvantages. Why discussing the advantage? Why discussing the disadvantages? Also, you are bringing in what different scholars have said together. You are bringing them together. After you might have brought them together, now discuss them. Discuss them in line with your work, and also make it reflect the current situation in the particular industry as regarding your work. What is happening there recently? You see, that's how you can show the beauty of the advantage and disadvantage in line with the current situation of what is happening in the industry in that your particular work, you understand, in that your particular topic. And that is what makes your discussion to be interesting. That's what gives it beauty. Now, there are some particular situations whereby, while discussing a particular work, there might be particular situation whereby some topic, it might be difficult for you to see things to write on them. Your topic is what you will break down into concepts, the concept that you want to discuss under your conceptual review. For instance, for a particular topic, you might not see more than probably definition, objective, background, advantage and disadvantage. Most of the time, you see, discussing or writing a conceptual review goes beyond definition, objective, background, advantage and disadvantage, because whatsoever you are discussing, you have to discuss it in-depthly. And in order for you to discuss your concepts in-depthly, you have to discuss it exhaustively. That's the reason why I say exhaustive discussion. You have to discuss it exhaustively. That is, talk about everything that has to do with that particular concept in all angles. So there are times you might see a lot to write on the definition, objective, background, advantage, disadvantage, and you might want to stay there as an undergraduate student. A postgraduate student, you have to discuss, you have to show a lot of things. Even as an undergraduate student, it's important for you to go beyond that. It is you revealing your writing prowess. And even the more you write, the more you practice the more you practice writing, the better your ability to write. The more you practice writing, the better you are shaping your writing skill. So, while discussing exhaustively, please bring in the debates. What are the debates? Past debates, current debates, and where future debates might even come from that particular concept in relation to the entirety of your work. And this debate, it has been done previously by other scholars. So you bring in the debate. What's the current trend? What's the hot topic? What are people saying about it? Show them. Bring them together. What different scholars have said about that as regarding debates. Bring them together. Talk about them. Show the beauty. Discuss in line with your work, like the entirety of your work, like I've said earlier on. Now, you can also talk about the limitation of that particular concept. This is different from the disadvantage. Now, there is tendency that despite the fact that a lot of people has been debating these concepts for a long period of time, they've shown the advantage, they've shown the disadvantage. There has been a limitation to the extent to which it has been discussed all this while. It could even be a gap for what you want to do. It depends on what you're writing on. Talk about the challenges too. What do they think the potential challenges will be? What has been the challenges of that concept in line with your topic, that is your dependent variable, and organizations that you are using? What has been the challenges so far? What has been the challenges in the past? What was their current challenges? What do you think will pose a challenge in the future? Then bring together what different scholars has done in a debate, in a beautiful arts intelligent discussion. And while you are bringing in what other scholars has done, you see, you bring in together in form of comparison. You bring in together in order for you to bring out the differences in what they've talked about in the past. So you are discussing. You show what you bring together the discussions that are related to one another. You bring if it is in positive way, if it is in negative way. You might firstly bring together positive, bring together negative, and then now draw an inference between the two. What do you think? What do you think is happening in the industries that you are using in your work in line with your topic? Based on what others have said and done so far. It might even, what they've done so far might not even be in your particular industry, that you want to use in your recent work. But how do you think that is going to impact also on the particular industry that you are using in your work? Talk about their conclusion. The conclusion of different scholars about that particular work. Talk about their conclusion. Then now, from that conclusion, now draw inferences from that particular condition, from that particular conclusion. Draw inferences out of it and discuss extensively your own understanding. And this, your ability to discuss in your own understanding, is called you showing your take, what you understand, what you think about the discussion, what you think about the trend of the discussion, what you think about the pattern of the discussion, and how you think that particular trend and pattern of discussion is still going to extend into the future based on the current happening in that particular field as at the time you are discussing it. So this, what we've talked about here, is a very important part of your conceptual framework, a structure to follow while writing your conceptual review, rather, not framework, please. That's because I'm using framework because I'm talking about framework right from the beginning of the video. Sorry, it is conceptual review, not conceptual framework. Okay, so this is the structure to follow while discussing your conceptual review, and I'm very sure with this you now have better understanding on how to go about your conceptual review. You are no longer stuck, you are no longer fixed on what to put down while you are trying to write the conceptual review of your project. So that will be all for now. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you share with your friends, share with your colleagues, share with your junior, share with your enemies too. And if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, all this while, what are you waiting for? We'll be rolling out values, we'll be giving you values all this while. So what are you waiting for? Please do not remember to subscribe and turn on your notification button. If you have any question concerning this particular video, do not hesitate to drop it in the comment section. I will answer it. All right, then see you in the next video. Bye.